Welcome to the Totally Awesome Fishing Show. Well, this is not going to be doing me any good for the next type of fishing I'm going to be showing you. I'm fishing on a commercial boat. That's right, a commercial boat. Really interesting. The skipper Pete is on the south coast, runs a small boat with so much fishing equipment on it, I cannot tell you. He does all types of fishing, different types of long lining, of bass fishing, of netting, and he supplies restaurants, and he supplies fresh fish, absolute fresh fish, straight off the boat. Works on his own and with a crew member, so a small two-man boat, two-man operation, and he was going bass fishing. I thought, I wonder what he's using for bait. Live sand eel. And I got the chance to go out, and he showed me how they netted live sand eel. Took a while to get out to the mark, but I think you find it interesting. It is the same principle. Everybody's catching them on rod and line. You put the live sand eel on, you drop it down, hopefully you hook the bass, you catch the bass. It's very interesting, and I think you'll be interested in it as well. Sit back and watch it, and do you know what? I thought I had a lot of tackle and rods and reels on my boat, but Pete's boat has so much gear, it's unbelievable. So never have I seen so much equipment on one boat, on a fishing boat. There's different pulleys and gantries and wheels and winches, the like of which I've never seen before. Because Pete does this all-round commercial fishing. Everything is there, from, yes, ordinary fishing reels, down to Pete's fishing reel. That, believe it or not, is his mackerel catching rig with a reel and a great big pole that goes up there to loops and pulleys and wheels and gantries and the mackerel feathers that he can fish with and catch 20 at a time. That's just what I need for my shark fishing trips. With just a short little window of opportunity to catch these sand eels for the bass, Pete took us out on a big trip around the front of what's called Hayling Island, and we ended up basically nearly in Portsmouth and Southsea and all that sort of area there. And what you're looking for is sandbanks. Sand eels live in sandbanks. Well, no surprise there, really, is there? And as you can see here, we're up inside one of the estuaries, and Pete and that's getting their boat rigged up. The first thing they have to do is get that big blue bin filled up with some water, because that's the initial place they put all the sand eels when they come over the side in the seine net. That's what they do. Now he's going to rig up, and they've got on the side there, those big boards are called otter boards. As well as your net there, you have to have all the ropes, obviously, to let the net out. And he has a sort of a standing gantry that you can stand up in right on the stern of the boat, overlooking the back of the boat there. And I guess that gives you plenty of room to move around. Now he gets the bottom fine end of this mesh net, the sand eel net, ties a knot in it there, pulls it down nice and tight, obviously. I guess that's what I would be calling the cod end of the net. Everything's prepared, and then they've got to fill up. Just in the background you can see a pipe going into a sort of red bucket. That is the main holding area, and the blue bucket there is the one they use for emptying the net, because they don't want to leave these sand eels out too long. They're live bait. They're live bait fish for other fish, specifically bass. And you can see all the different types of rigs, commercial equipment that Pete uses there. Now look how fast they have to work, because they're over a small area of sandbank. They've got to get this net out. Now it's something, I guess, I don't know, I'm not a commercial fisherman, but it must be extremely difficult, if not impossible, to do on your own, because those giant otter boards they're putting out there, after the net, they're going to, Pete's piling the net over like that, and they got the wider mesh there, then they got all those net buoys that go over. Now you can see, the likes of you or I could dump that lot in the water and catch absolutely nothing. The idea is to let that go down and then be opened up by these planing or otter boards that will pull away as the boat motors along, and those lines come tight, the ropes they're holding, they lower both otter boards. Now I was listening to Pete and his crewman there, those boards really, this is the most important thing, have got to go in together. They've got to be dropped back in the current there, in the little bit of tide ebb that was left there. You know, both together. Both ropes have got to be locked out. Together, the ropes have to go back and be stopped together, otherwise there's going to be a sort of kink in it, an angle, and I guess those otter balls might spin, and it just, well, it's going to be a huge mess. So you can see both ropes going out parallel at the same time. They have baskets there, like what we call old plastic washing baskets, aren't they? But they're absolutely ideal for putting coiled rope in. And when all the rope's gone out, it's just taken up on stanchions on the side, the strain's taken, and then Pete rushes down because he wants to get on the sounder and make sure he clips the right part of the sandbank. And there you can see, barely moving, maybe a knot or two. So he can work also from a rear steering and operating station, I'm going to call that. Then, when everything's ready to be pulled in, no longer, I would say, than 5 minutes, maybe 10 minutes of towing is what they pull the net through the water. Because if you leave it any longer, you probably, as Pete's told me, you will catch more sand eels, but they'll all be dead because they'll all be crushed in the bottom of the net. And the specific idea of catching these sand eels is they must be live. The bass go crazy for them, and the target species for Pete is leaving at 3 a.m, believe it or not, after doing all this work just to get bait. 3 a.m. that night to get out to the banks offshore to use any sand eels he catches to target the bass. So after hauling in the otter boards, they're stored on the side there out the way. Here comes the net. It's barely been out 5 minutes. I don't even think it was out there 10 minutes, to be honest. It was a very, very small area, a sandbar, that Peter found the shoals of sand eel marking over, and he's hoping he's got some because he's only got like a 30-minute period over the high water, slack high water, to see if there's any sand eels there for bait. It's a big, I think we were more than about an hour and a quarter's run to get to this mark. There's the fine mesh net. And our decky guy runs over, gets the water-filled butt ready to take straight out. They won't lift them out, those sand eels, until they're ready and everything has got to work like a smooth operating system. Remember, guys, even if there's one caught in the mesh of the net, it's got to be saved. It could be a bass. Wow. Good hunch there, Pete, starting early.
Yeah, that was good. Yeah, that was good. Very good. Good sign.
Good sign, is it?
Yeah, there's a hole here somewhere though. Watch it come out. See if we can open that up. Try and move it. See a hole? Nice.
So this small bait, as small as it seems, is called quicksilver. When you try and dig them out of the sand on gravel bars, it's really got to be quick. They are so slippery and so, well, they're, they're like gold dust, really. They're silver, but they're almost as valuable as gold dust. Honestly, if you've got a good bass area in front of you and you've got a live sand eel down, the chances are you're almost sure to get a take from a bass, coalfish, pollock. Any of the predators love these live sand eels. They are the main food fish for predators around the south coast of England. And look at that lot. You can't say there's not a good haul there, but he has got a poisonous weaver there, and that's got to go straight back over the side. You could not afford to put your hand in there without gloves, fishing around in that weed, thinking it's full of sand eels, and you actually get spiked by the poison weaver. That's why they're wearing those gloves all the time. And he's looking for weavers when he's got it clear of sand eels, of weavers and the sand eels only. It's then that they're tipped into the main holding tank, which will have a pipe running into it, circulating fresh seawater, because they have to be kept alive. The lid's put on there, so it doesn't spill out going along. Hey ho, guys, shall we go and rescue these poor chaps, these yachting guys, or shall? Looks like the boat's going away. I think Pete wants sand eels. He can always rescue them later, can't he? We could save them later. So Pete wants to get straight back up there. He's got literally minutes to get these sand eels. There is the seabed, and there's a massive shoal of sand eels. There you can point them out for us. And those bumps on the bottom, Pete tells me, are sand eels coming out of the sand over the slack water period. So very, very limited. And we actually only get a couple or three shots at this, because once the tide starts to flow, the sand eels go back in the gravel and sand on the bottom, and that's the end of that. So here we go, and net's piled out again, and it's repeat the procedure. So you can see just getting the bait alone is hard work. There's a lot of effort goes into this. The fuel to get round there, the time, several hours, even though we've got the exact spot on time of tide that Pete wanted. He just got this second haul and then a third haul after that. Now even there the weed is starting to come in because the tide must be starting to perhaps just move a little bit.
Bass.
That's a whack load there, isn't it?
Go. We might have one more toad, Phil.
And there's a nice bass, and it goes back just slightly undersized. Pete puts that one back, and he's going to be looking for fish of 7 or 8 pounds tomorrow night.
Squid there though.
What any particular, you know, regular, just a regular squid that we use for bait, or is that like an English one there?
Yeah, I think that's just a regular
Very long
squid.
point to it, hasn't it?
Yeah, it has, yeah. Don't know what squid that is. Put them in the water. Oh, that's a nice. That's a nice one.
Yeah, that'd be would you call that a launch?
That's a launch, that, yeah. Just watch for weavers in here because I thought I saw one in it. Right.
Now you can see the difference there between the sandeels around the outside edge and the launce, which is really the greater sandeel in the middle. It's a much bigger eel, and they're generally really good for pollock. But trust me, even a small sandeel, if it's live, will be taken by a bass. Third and final drift. We're racing there, hauling hard. You can see how much work they have to put in commercially just to get the bait, but look at the amount of weed that's building up in the net. That was in the 15 minutes it took us to clear the nets and get back up for another drift. It's pretty well all over.
That one was good.
That's weed in it, is it?
Yeah.
Will they recover or not necessarily?
See them?
That jellyfish, isn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, what these?
Yeah.
So that'll clog the net as well, all these jellyfish, yeah?
Yeah, that doesn't help. Just because the tide was on the turn up. You alright?
Yeah. You can tell I've been here on a commercial boat a lot of times. Oh, I can see them in there, all the globules.
They're a nuisance, but
Can they get really bad in the summer, jellyfish?
yeah. Shrimp there. Yeah, there's quite a few there. I don't know whether they are jellies or whether, I don't know what they are, to be honest. They do look like some sort of...
Some form of jellyfish, aren't they? Clear.
Might even be some sort of eggs there.
What they are?
Not really sure. They look like some sort of jellyfish to me.
So does anybody out there know what this weird globule-like jellyfish thing is? We didn't seem to know what it was. Pete wasn't sure himself. Who knows? Maybe you guys out there can contact us on the comments page and tell us what species of jellyfish you think it is, if indeed it is a jellyfish. Now here's what we call a corge, which is normally wooden, but this one's been made out of a big drum with mesh there so the water can circulate through it, and that way you can take the live sandals out of that holding tank, sort out the dead ones. Now the dead ones will be used first thing at dawn that next day for the bass. In low light conditions they will still take the dead ones, but it's keeping those live ones fresh throughout the night, and for the trip out there it is paramount importance. Keep them alive. I hope you enjoyed that, and I wish I had that fishing reel he's got there. No, not that one, that one.